we early or are we late? Is there daylight savings time?
Not till March.
Ah, shit. What's going on, YouTube world? Anybody that's still there? Dave, IRP. I think 170. I didn't even check, but I thought one last week was 169 if I remembered right. And trying to get the placeholder up and oh yeah, it's.
I kept everybody in the loop as much as what I could.
That's what it is, Duke. Scott, it's basketball. I wish it was softball right now, but that eventually pretty quick is going to be starting up for us. I think next. I know when next month, but I don't know when.
I told them they were all thinking, standard-ish. I was like, no, obviously it seems heavy on the ish. And not long after that, you sent the text, and I was like, yeah, delays due to unforeseen circumstances. And of course, you said 5 minutes, and I'm like,
That's never going to be.
Dave must go to the school of my wife's time.
I wanted to call Trista before I went on here because usually she's sleeping by the time we're done, or if she isn't, I'm ready to go to sleep. And if we talk, it's usually for a few minutes, and I usually just pass out because the day is really long. Not that I don't want to talk to her, but like the after hours when I've dozed off. Not because I don't want to talk to you guys. It's just.
I figured that though too.
I know. I just want to make sure everyone knows. Us being the originators of inserts, that we want to make sure everybody knows what's going on with us because we don't want to sit there and have things happen, things transpire.
Under normal circumstances, I would say yes, that is an accurate statement. This was unforeseen circumstances. So I wasn't wrong in the nomenclature because in all practical purposes, normally, yes, it is ish. And we've been heavy on the ish in the past.
Yes. This was really heavy.
This was
like me standing on the scale heavy. So if it was old SNL, I would have been, what was it, the church lady? Or no. Mike Myers. Whatever his character was, like the Jewish old woman, like, I'll give you a topic. Whatever, he'd have a word that was neither this nor that. No, discuss amongst yourselves, and he'd say that he's getting verklempt. Again, I can't remember what it was, but that would have been the thing I'd have kept running about every 5 minutes. New subject you can talk amongst yourself and banter about.
Whatever you need to feel better about yourself, Paul. All for it.
Yeah.
All for it. And yes, as you can see, we are sans Vinny for reasons. He may show up later. He may show up in the chat. He may not. This is not 2024 has not been the best year for the IRP.
No.
For reasons. And I'll leave it at that. Mine not near as bad as Dave and Vinny so far, but knock on wood. That doesn't rain on my parade.
Yeah, sometimes it's got to fucking turn. Even just like not a full 180, just go.
Just a slight tick.
Paul has to show up as like invest arrows down, like the Will Greers and Kyler Murray's. It's got to go up at some point.
Well, this is true, Stuke. Hopefully that's not you too, because that would suck if you are stuck at home
It's
with the corona.
the video.
And no, I'm not drinking Corona either. So
No, so it's been just a
it's been a
blast.
it's been a shit start to the year. It's been a shit start to the year. And of course, with all the other kind of crap shit that's been going on, I kind of left it alone. I didn't want to add to the pile of shit, but I'm probably about 10%, 90% for the possibility of Expo this year. No bonus means difficult. So, yeah. So I'll just add to the pile of shit. But Chicago 2025, I don't give a damn. Somehow, shape, form, fashion, whatever. Next year,
If that means Steve is finally going to sell those cards that he wanted to sell many moons ago, that'll have to come to fruition. I know I've got to do at some point the trip back down to St. Louis, sell some more. Again, I want to. I don't know. If I could sell a lot, I would, just because the stuff I'd want to keep is specific. I mean, it's obviously, I don't want to get rid of the Lombardi. I don't want to get rid of the Night Train Lane. A lot of those old patches, unless you're offering me something where it's ridiculous. And even then, you have to offer above and beyond what I'd ever dream possible. And even at that point, I still don't know if I'd move. Just because if I could get rid of a lot of the other stuff, the O&Es, the old odds and ends, and the sort of the chum bucket of stuff where it's like, yeah, it's okay stuff, but do I really need match shop patches to 8 or stuff like that? I love them, but at the same time, if it's possible to get them out to Ryan and he's going to go through his consigner and then have them sold on eBay, as much as it doesn't sound like something I didn't normally say, and I've said it before, I'd rather have somebody that really gives a shit about the card have it. Just like I feel that way about Johnson. I don't feel like I should have them all, but if you're gonna ask somebody, ask me. Northcutt, Kerry, people of my ilk that I've collected for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be. So, and then I know you'll be happy.
I'll be happy. Oh, you found it for the second time this year.
So, right here in one person's Christmas pile, which I know people love this. Jesus Christ. And I don't, this is probably going to taper off at some point too, just because it's starting to get
out of control.
What?
Yeah, it continues to grow. And that's not even the jumbos.
No, there's the jumbos over here. There's some other stuff. I mean, it's going to be more judicious, I think. I'm going to show them too, but
the jumbos.
Jumbos,
yeah, don't show them, Dave. Come on.
Hey, look away. So,
no worries, Bob. No worries. Take your time.
Oh yeah, that would have been the perfect time to show them too.
No, because they'd be in the replay, dumbass.
Well, no, that because of that, it's like dipshit. What the fuck am I doing? Again, I don't know, like
Well,
every day is
I
long. Every day is
I
so long.
I get it. I mean, oh, and before I forget, two things. One, Dave, it's more of a reminder,
And then
but
I got that from this guy. So at some point I'm gonna do a video, Clint. I got it. I just
Cole
time.
Hamels fan. Clint. Speaking of which, I know I surprised you with my comment in your SP Authentic video because, like I said, I do watch stuff. I need to get better about commenting. Did you sell it yet? Did you at least get your money back? Because even when I put the comment, they were going between 150 and 200 and something bucks.
Was that the Wyatt Johnson?
Johnston, yeah.
Well, yeah, when he said that, he's like, "Oh, I didn't really get." I'm like, Wyatt's he's a good player."
Yeah, and I even like I like the Stars, so I know who he is. I knew he was phenomenal. So I did the extra search because I'm like, wait a minute. That kid's pretty damn good. Let me go do a peek and look here. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that
uh
I saw
since we
that.
actually have
Ooh.
since we have 13 people on here, next week, first part of the show, even if it's ish, even if that means you have to wait a little bit, you won't want to miss the start to next week's show.
And make sure to check. I will get a placeholder up earlier. I promise. Again, it's been a week. It's like 5 of them. But my last week has been like really a joy. So that's why the placeholder up was up. I don't even know what time this morning. I did it from the bathroom in the store. So, but I don't. I gotta check to make sure the schedule. I think Tuesday is the last game of the year for them, pending. So it could be a Wednesday, but again, just make bear in mind, keep that in mind. Check back with your local listings for time and availability. But
Yeah,
yes,
but
make sure to tune in. Even if you don't do it for the whole show, which I know, again, numbers don't lie, which that's fine. We don't expect people to fucking stick around for that long to listen to us talk anyway, but make sure to.
but in all seriousness, if that's the only part of the show that you watch and you watch live, please make an attempt. For reasons, some people may or may not know what I'm referring to. Hint, hint, it has something to do that was discussed over the weekend. That should be enough for y'all to figure out what it is. But the other thing we talked about pre-show last week and somewhat in the after hours of a potential, I don't want to call it future segment, but we thought that we may want to touch on it, get people's feedback, so we can give enough time to do what we need to do to prep it and then determine when we'll do it next month and then moving forward.
And
You
this
know
will
what I'm
be one
talking
of the
about?
rare times that we don't pander to. We pander to you guys, but we don't. We're not always looking and like trying to dig in your pocket for information. We're always in the boat of if you want to tell us something like, hey, we'd like to see this, talk about this, do something on this. We're glad to do it, but we're not going to sit there and open a show and go 20 minutes with saying whatever you guys want to see. Let us know in the comments below. Oh no, you guys can get a hold of us. We're on IG. You know, comment on a past episode.
Yep.
Comment in here. Comment after the fact on like this episode or whatever it is, just so we know. Because I'll go back and it's usually a week or two later. I'll say, oh man, I got to look at see if anybody commented on the IRP stuff and get a hold of us some way, shape, form, or fashion, and we will gladly tackle whatever subject you guys want. But this will be like the one time we actually come out and ask you guys, gals, whoever's watching, about, hey, what do you think of this? And if it's a specific subject, which most of the time it's going to be on that line, it's give us some options and give some stuff we'll give you some choices, and we'll make those choices available to you in a community post. One of those
So
rare things.
You might as well just
Spill the beans.
Let's talk about it. So we're 2 weeks into February. We wanted to potentially do this starting in March, doing it on a monthly basis. Kind of go back to our roots a little bit, not to the extent of other ideas that we have that have not come to fruition quite yet. For reasons, some things are extremely difficult in that sense. But what we're thinking to start doing once a month. We don't know exactly if it's going to be the first show of every month, the second, third. Like, that's up for grabs.
Sometime during the month, just depending on what we need to do to make sure that we can have the correct information and the correct
visual aids.
That's what I was I'm visual. Hey, visual.
For once, I got you.
Yep. And that's where you see the brain is at right now. It's applesauce that's been sitting in the summer sun in Texas. It's just a big pile of mush.
So we want to start talking about different sets. Mostly in the 90s, because that is our foundation, because we've been collecting them forever and a day.
Since the fucking cards were released, not within the past 7 years.
What we're thinking of doing is putting a community post, kind of a survey. These are 4 sets that we'd like to kind of talk about. We're not going to the extent of like hack odds, that type of stuff. Some of the case hits type stuff we'll mention it as such. But talk about some of the inserts. Talk about some of the parallels associated with those sets. Show some examples, some real world examples, not pictures, not eBay listings, actually physical copies of some of those said cards. Let it sit for a couple weeks, get y'all's feedback, and then the following month, whatever show we decide to do, whatever time of the month, we'll actually talk about it. That'll be the first part of the show. It will be mostly football. However, because Vinny and Dave have the knowledge from a hockey perspective, there may be some hockey episodes. The problem for me is I know, glad everybody's sitting down, regardless of what everybody says in the Hockey Oracle. I don't own a lot of them, and a lot of the insert sets don't correspond or correlate to football. So I will be kind of like a third wheel. It'll be Dave and Vinny at the top, and I'll be at the bottom. In the event that it's a hockey related episode. Shut up, Dave. No, not the top five investment tips. We're not going that route. Come on. This is not an investment channel. It is the scholarship type aspect. And like I said, some things certain people may not know. And it's always nice to actually physically see it. You know, it's great to talk about something. It's great to talk about essential credentials. It's great to talk about PMGs. It's great to see those pictures on Instagram. And no, 97 metal is not going to be one that's going to be listed as an option. No. We could. Well, Dave could, at least for one of those. But it's sets that like Dave and I have appreciation for. Or sets that Dave and Vinny may have appreciation. They may have appreciation for. We're not talking cream of the crop. We're not talking everybody's focal point of most valuable, that type of stuff. It's just more talking about sets that we enjoyed and talking about certain aspects, certain inserts that people may have never seen or parallels they never knew about. So we're going to give it a go, see how well it goes. A lot of it's going to be dependent on feedback. If we only get a few responses, then we'll table it for a brief while and we'll rehash it later. But it'll mostly be 90s focused. We may dip into some of the early 2000 stuff. But like I know Dave and I have kind of talked about a couple that we were already thinking about being part of the initial survey. Because it says that we like. And we have examples. The prime objective is making sure we have examples because, like I said, it's great to talk about them. It's great to see posts on Instagram because it's a physical, like somebody physically has it. But to sit there, sit there and do like something like this, hold it in your hand, and kind of move it so light can hit certain things. It's different. So that's what we're thinking. We haven't ironed out the first 4 that we're gonna put because we're gonna try and do 4 as the survey each time. And whatever gets the highest number of votes, that's what we'll talk about.
And if there's, let's say it's an insert or a set that only has maybe 3-4 inserts, a couple parallels, we may go through the pack odds just because it not only is it always going to be pertinent, but at the same time, it won't take a lot of time. It's not like we're going to be sitting there, again, for a couple specific sets. It's like, okay, you're going to have to go through 6 different parallels, 7 parallels plus 2 or 3 insert sets. So again, that takes a little more time, and you want to sort of focus more on the cards and actually what they look like. And what we've said many a time, and you guys that are all here now, anybody watching in the archive, again, another time you got to be sitting down, no Peloton, no like standing desks. a lot of our collecting is still based heavily on nostalgia. And that doesn't change. It'll change in the sense that Steve might get like a wild hair up his ass to go down like the basketball realm. It's like, fuck, I just saw like an Iverson, I saw Kobe, I saw a Duncan, that I remember that set, and I for whatever the case may be, he bought something. And again, it's like nothing he would have thought for like the goals of the year, like, hey, I picked up an atomic refractor of Duncan rookie year. Something like, just again, example. Or a luminescent out of Stadium Club of whoever, Iverson. Because I remember pulling something in Series 2 back in 96, 7, 8, whatever the case may be. But again, that's where our focus is. You can have, it's like the toddler pulling you to the toy area. You got to come over here, see this, and it's like we'll turn back and we'll see all the toys from like the 80s over in the corner. And it's like, no, whatever. Yeah, you can have your Aquanauts or whatever, and like the Peppa Pigs and stuff like that. No, the focus goes back to what we know best, what we like best, what we couldn't have back then because of financial constraints. Now it's a little tough too with all the COVID and the ebbs and flows of the hobby the last 4 years. But still, the past 15 years prior to that, we were able to get a lot of stuff. I mean, not everything we wanted, that just doesn't happen, but nostalgia and just trying to go back to what we know, and not in the sense of like, oh, we're putting out expert content, expert videos, expert dialogue, and expert discussion. We're going back to stuff that if people were to ask us 10 years ago on YouTube, 12 years ago on YouTube, hey, what's this blank football card? More than likely within 5 minutes, we could figure it out. Usually a shorter amount of time, but we see all that. And again, this isn't my usual knock on the best third baseman of all time for the Red Sox. We see all the top 10 lists of this, that, and the other for the vintage stuff. By now, Elmer's is like, I don't want any more glue. That horse has been dead for like a year, and you're still beating it. You're still beating it. There needs to be more stuff out there. And people always talk about the community. You want a diverse community. And not only wants to be diverse in the sense of the members of the community, but you want to have diversity in, and I hate the C word too, but like the videos and the content coming out in the videos in the community. You don't want to see the same stuff. I don't care about Prism every 2 minutes. I don't care about the best card from 1987 Topps. I don't care about what the best PSA 8 copy looks. I can't care. I can't care because it's just been bludgeoned. Everybody has a video about it. I don't care about the 60-40 centering compared to the 55-45 centering. I don't care.
Bob doesn't have videos on it. What are you talking about? If everybody has videos, that would include Bob, you know.
They're privately listed under it.
I'm sure I've mentioned something about 87 Topps at some point.
The McGuire Keys Shore, that's the 87 Topps that I go back to Bob Lewis for.
Right.
So we've talked about a numerous amount of times. When we were coming into the YouTube space, football is king. Basketball is probably second. Baseball, a far third. Nobody even knows what hockey was back then. You had Wilkie getting more jockey cards out of like Donruss whatever threads or whatever the hell that multi-sport.
Americana.
Yeah, you had more Don hockey or jockey cards coming out of there, like Rulin Gardner or some wrestling dude that wasn't Hulk Hogan or stuff.
Tattoo Pakarori. I still remember him pulling it. He's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? You don't know who Tattoo is? I know who Tattoo is. Indoor soccer player, MLS. Was known for every time he scored a goal, taking his jersey off and throwing it to the crowd. One of the best all-time indoor Major League Soccer players ever. He was like the Pele and the Messi of like soccer back when indoor soccer was a thing. It was a huge.
How was it different, Steve?
What do you mean? How was it different?
Besides like the obvious.
Indoor soccer is less players on the field and a lot more aggressive.
But the same size field?
Yeah, they're it's the same length as any standard soccer field. The only difference is they're rounded at the end. But it's the same distance, same size field. It's tough. I played it. It's intense, man. A lot of running.
I thought you said it was in a dome.
They normally are.
But you just said it was intense.
Oh,
really, Dave? Dave's gonna throw out dad jokes now.
I mean, loud.
I was gonna say.
But no, Tattoo was. He's actually kind of helped put the sport on the map in the 80s. It didn't last very long. But yeah, I even knew who he was. Nobody else. Who the fuck is this guy? Like, I've never heard of it. Some soccer player. I'm like, what do you? Some soccer player from Brazil, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a good bet.
I got to actually play on the Sidekicks field when I played. That's back when I was a goalie, so it was not as fun, not as tiring. I remember Sato Kin. Yep, he was the king of the hockey box breaks.
Wait, there was a king of hockey box breaks?
Yeah. He was the only one who was breaking hockey.
Because Denny every once in a while.
King by default.
Fair. You're definitely not wrong in that sense. Nobody else talked about it. And hell, for all we know, there could have been some other hockey folks out there. They just never managed to get visibility to the bulk of the community for whatever reason. So,
well, the reason is because they make hockey card content.
Correct.
Not completely. You had quite a few subscribers. Quite a few subscribers. Quite a few views. But he was the only one who did it.
I think the only
are we talking like opening up like the cup? Or are we opening up like, O-Pee-Chee?
SP Authentic, SP Game Use, that type of stuff.
So up, quality breaks, quality openings.
Oh.
I can get on board with that.
Granted, I didn't watch them because it was hockey.
You hadn't yet reached your Oracle status.
I have never reached my Oracle status.
You're so humble.
Let's say the humility of you.
No.
worth a YouTube Hall of Fame vote alone.
Said absolutely nobody.
So I missed the beginning of the show. Where was Vinny indisposed?
For reasons. No, the start of the show, Bob, was basically 2024 started off shitty.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys, and this is an extreme aside, but and I know you guys don't watch. So the Chasing Cardboard episode, I just woke up, and clicked on it, watched it. The shop that they visited, the owner had bought a Mahomes optic rookie, gold optic, to 10 for $300. No, he bought it for 100, sold it for 300, and then the next sale of that card, there's only 10. The next sale was $132,000. So I don't feel so bad about some of my deals now. Selling too early.
Yes, but
300.
also for context, timing.
No, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, not only was he winning Super Bowls, but like we had the pandemic as well, so it was like times 10. You know, that's not $132,000 card. So
No.
pretty wild.
Yeah,
This is the non-auto, by the way.
graded, not graded.
It wasn't graded, dude. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure it was when it resold.
Yeah.
Yeah, three Super Bowls later.
3 Super Bowl MVPs, like
A chance to really like go, 3 in a row. Nobody's ever done that. That's, a lot's on the table for Pat Mahomes collectors for sure.
So the question is, though, does anybody really think that it's great for the NFL to have a three-peat winner? Like, I don't.
I was rooting so hard for San Francisco. Just,
yeah.
I like the Purdy story. I think McCaffrey deserved a Super Bowl. I'm not a big Kittle guy, but I like their team, man. I like that they drafted a lot of those players. Greenlaw, obviously Bosa. Like, there's they're doing it kind of in the right way. Debo, Ayuk.
Is it amazing, though, that the defense basically started shitting the bed the minute Greenlaw went down?
I mean, would you say, is it amazing? I mean, like, how many times have we seen that when a star player goes down and just kind of like everybody kind of loses a step? I don't know.
Took the air out of him.
Yeah.
And on a non-play injury too. Like,
the weirdness of it all.
But it's
like, I remember, what was it? Grammatica wasn't one of the Grammaticas celebrated after like kicking a ball and then like was out for the season because of his just jumping up celebrating a made kick.
Yeah, was it Martine? I can't remember if it was Martine or Bill.
I think it was.
I remember like the Mario 2 jump, like he was Luigi, jumped way up in the air and came down. That was it. I'm just like, oh, and I get the excitement, but yeah, you got to be ultra careful with that stuff. You've seen it too many times.
But I didn't. I mean, I only saw the replay once on Greenlaw's deal. I mean,
That's all they
just
showed.
it didn't look like he didn't. Yeah, it didn't look like he did, but we didn't rewind. We didn't really dive into it or anything. I didn't watch replays today or yesterday, so it's like freak stuff happens, man. That's just weird.
It's unfortunate, but it completely changed the dynamic. Not that the defense played bad, but when you lose somebody of
They were the reason
that
they were in the
caliber,
game. Period. They were the reason they were in the game. I mean, they controlled the line of scrimmage, no doubt.
it ended up being a good game. I mean, defensive struggle early on, which is something that I didn't expect, honestly. I think San Francisco kind of screwed their chances on that opening drive, McCaffrey fumble, because they looked like it's like, oh shit. Like Kansas City is going to be in trouble if this is how freaking San Francisco is going to just march down the field, because they were marching.
Yeah.
And, not that it completely changed the dynamic, because, the defense stepped up. It was a 3-and-out for Kansas City, and it was like, okay. But for me personally, I'm tired of Kansas City. Yes, part of it has to do with them being in the same division as my team, but I'm sick and tired of fucking Kansas City. Like, I'm tired of them. They squeaked in this year, as far as I'm concerned. But in Andy Reid's credit, and I will give credit where it's due, he knows how to change the gears when it gets to the postseason with his team. They reach another level. And it consistently shows. But I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of hearing about Mahomes this and Mahomes that and Mahomes this. Orlando's probably going to yell at me. But
I saw a chick, a young girl, like 13, 14, 15, wearing a sweatshirt at church that said "Go Taylor's boyfriend."
Of course.
In Chiefs colors. So it's like it's just weird, man. Like that whole, what was the over under on how many camera shots Taylor Swift would do? I said it at 5, and I walked away at 6. So
yeah, I knew it.
That's a lot.
You knew it was going to be pretty much every reception.
Or every big play.
Or every reception of Kelsey and every big play. And that's exactly what it was.
What did he end up with? He didn't get 100, did he?
No.
Like 90? 80 for 90, somewhere in there.
That sounds right.
I didn't like the fact that he went over to fucking Andy Reid, freaking bumped him and started yelling at him. Like, really?
I didn't realize what that was all about. I saw the replay on that.
I think it
was. What
was
it about? Since it's the thumbnail.
I think they took him out.
And then homeboy fumbled.
Yeah, Pacheco fumbled, and then he wasn't out there for that. It's like, well, what the hell are you gonna do? You're gonna block? You're. I don't know. I don't get why he was gonna.
What makes him think that the play would have ended up any different if he was in the game?
Because
you don't know.
And then, I said the announcers made it sound like. Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
I like him as a player, but at the same time, he's
an ass.
He gets so worked up over shit that you don't need to get worked up over. It's almost like he's a wish version of me.
He's a fucking prima donna.
And that's I like him for fantasy football most of the time. Other than that, I can't stand him. He's just a dick.
He's a hell of a player. I I can never take away from the skill set. He's got the records. He's got the numbers. He's a hell of a football player. But man, is he a whiny prima donna, like whiny bitch. And I just like, get over yourself, dude.
Oh,
I mean, you're great. You're a great player. But you're not away from the numbers because everybody always wants to focus on numbers and stats and everything else. But you were not the greatest player there is.
no.
Don't make it seem as though homeboy fumbles because you weren't in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what would have happened. The same thing could have occurred with you in the game blocking. The same thing could have happened. So, like, get over yourself.
And the way Pacheco runs, I'm shocked he's not fumbling like every drive. He's
Well,
just
that's true too.
I love how hard he runs, but it feels like he's running on ice.
Well, he doesn't always protect the football like you're
Oh, yeah.
supposed to either. So,
But his feet look like an old like Speedy Gonzalez, where they're just going so fast. But that like upper half, I mean, it's sort of you're moving, but it's that lower half just looks like it's again Speedy Gonzalez on fucking ice. It's just like the legs are going every which way, and it's like just you're a ball of frenetic energy. And the Tasmanian Devil, fucking at least you knew he would go back and forth. I mean, Pacheco is just like I don't know it, and that's where I think I love the hardness that he runs, but he's gonna run himself right out of the league because he's gonna get hurt.
well, and that's true. I will say it was nice to see what I would say a consistent called game.
Yeah,
I there were a few times that I'm gonna say it. Bosa was clearly held and they didn't call it. Not that it was a huge play or anything along those lines. I'm not saying that changed the dynamic of the game, but there were two that I remember seeing. It's like how could you miss that? It was blatant, and they didn't call it.
yeah,
And yeah, I may have been more focused on Bosa because he's a fucking shit. I'd like that guy knows how to freaking play. There could have been the same instances on, the other side of the ball. I know that there was one, the right tackle for San Francisco. I know freaking started early, and they didn't call a false start. So, but like they let them play, which is something that you want in a game like that. But those two holes though on Bosa, I'm like, come on, man, that was bad. Like I said, not saying it would have changed anything. It's not like Kansas City got freaking a 20-yard play or something like, but it kept them going in the positive direction and not going backwards.
mm-hmm.
But I still don't feel like there was like one play that changed swung the
No.
game, like a call.
No.
Like there was 3rd and long and they threw it down the field and they got a pass interference call that put them in field goal. Nothing like that.
Yeah, no.
So I am happy about that. That's a good point.
No, and that's what I'm getting at. It was called fairly good considering past games. There wasn't one call that really swayed it one way or the other. They let them play, which is what you expect in a Super Bowl. The only thing that could have swayed the game in San Francisco's favor if they would have gotten points off that freaking Mahomes interception.
Mm-hmm.
And, got to give credit to Spagnola. Like, he's a hell of a defensive coordinator, man. And, like, he basically was like, okay, yeah, turnover, great. Now, fuck you, we're getting the ball back. And they shut down San Francisco in that series. Like, they couldn't do squat. So it was a great head coach chess match too throughout the entire game, and the defensive coordinator side. Like, it was an all around good game. The fact that it went to overtime says something. But like, Kansas City defense stepped up when it needed to and forced San Francisco to get a field goal instead of being able to get a touchdown. The missed extra point was huge because Kansas City would have had to score a touchdown to win in the last few minutes of the game instead of kicking the field goal for a tie. Who knows what would have happened though? Who's to say they would have got in 4 tries? Like, those situations you don't know. So it could have gone a multitude of ways, but there was mistakes on both sides that could have changed how the game ended up.
Butker on that 57-yard field goal. When they showed the replay of Randy Gregory, and I don't know who the other guy was for the Niners, going up to block it, and their hands are here, and that
so close,
right between them. I'm like, oh my god, that is an insane. You put that on a card. Put that on your Topps Now or Panini Instant card. That's a card that's.
That would be a Stadium Club shot for sure.
Gotta be the photography. But
the punt that bounced off the San Francisco guy.
Yep.
That freaking Kansas City recovered. I mean,
at first you thought Ray had messed up, and then you see the replay. Oh, it did hit that guy's foot, and then so he made a heads up play, but didn't follow through with it. But yeah, crazy stuff, man.
Because Ray played for you guys out in Pittsburgh, right?
He did. It was like, did he just say Ray McCloud? Yeah. Oh, it was kind of that reaction.
I remember seeing him do a couple of those fumbles out there. I'm like, oh, there he goes again. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, okay, Ray, my bad. Yeah. I jumped the gun there. I'm sorry.
But and Joe has a valid point. They, to a degree, they were a little bit more conservative.
Yep.
But I mean, San Francisco out of the gate in the third quarter started abandoning the run.
Completely.
Which is the same thing that Baltimore did.
Yep.
And it's like, come on, guys. Like, stick to your bread and butter. Even if Christian's only getting 2 or 3 yards. 2 or 3 yards that, at the most is 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 4. That's manageable. Don't get yourself into 3rd and long situations all the time. So it's congratulations to Kansas City. I hate that they won it. I hate the way they won it. But
it was a game where in the passing game, the old adage of the offense took what the defense gave them. And there wasn't a lot of give there. I thought Javon Sneed, when he had the stupid head slap on Ayuk, I'm like, that can come back. But then, right away after that, he had 2 big plays. So I'm like, he atoned for it. So it's like, okay. You rarely see that. Usually it's somebody with a bonehead play and then there's a touchdown scored or something like that. I'm trying to think what Chris Conley. I'm like, I'm talking with Krista and we're watching, and the Chris Conley downs the ball or whatever it was, and I'm just like, is that the same dude from the last Topps Chrome? like the 2015 set that the Chiefs drafted out of Georgia. Like that can't be him. And then later on, they're like, yeah, the former Chief receiver Chris Conley. I'm like, no shit. Like, wow, he's still like festering about in the league. And they had that big tackle on special teams that looked like a wrestling move, and like the legit clothesline. Yeah, downing the ball at the one. I'm like, good for him. A couple big plays that, because he was big shit coming out of Georgia. You thought that was going to be another one of those Chiefs receivers. Hey, pair him with Tyreek and Kelsey, and man, you're going to have a tough road to hoe there. But didn't work out in his favor. But I'm glad he at least got a little run in the Super Bowl. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of just dumbness. You usually see
No.
somebody be stupid, and the only dumb thing I think was the 49ers on the who the hell caught it? Was it Valdez Scantling? Where that safety bit. And then they had that like 50-yard pass, I think. Like got Ken.
yeah.
Scaling did have a big play.
Because that was like, I'm shocked Scantling caught it.
But that's also where they got the fumble.
Yep, that was a Pacheco fumble like 2-3 plays later. So
yeah, if the safety would have turned around and actually looked to see what was going on, that would have been a pick.
As soon as he turns around this way, the ball's basically going over his head to the guy, and it's like, But yeah, that's one of the first Super Bowls I've watched pretty much start to finish. Commercials, we'll get into that in a moment, because there's some, I think some of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
I think
And
last year's were better.
But I don't. Well, what was it on last year? Was it on Fox?
I don't remember.
If it was on Fox, that I know that's probably why I didn't watch it. Because again, no streaming capabilities or no whatever yet. I know there's talk of ESPN, Warner Brothers or Time Warner. I don't remember which one. And then Fox doing some sort of streaming app. So I think it'd be like 18 channels or something. So I'm like, oh, I'd be all aboard for that. But at the same time, right now, I don't have that option. So, but I thought there's some good stuff. And I think Trista had mentioned, because like the Screen Actors Guild or whatever, all the people are out of business or out of work for a while. So everybody just wanted to get back in and do something. But I thought there's a lot of good ones. I chuckled, and the one I chuckled at the most, unfortunately, was a local one. Like right after halftime, I think they had a little block of like 3 or 4 local type sponsors, and that must be everybody gets that for like the local network affiliate. And I mean, I laughed hard at that, harder than I should have ever laughed. I told her it reminded me of one from the Patriots and the Packers from like 80 or 87, 97. So
it was a good game. It was like there was no. It was back and forth enough to where there was no clear favorite.
It was one you had to watch to make sure, if you wanted to see who won, it wasn't going to be, okay,
somebody's up 31-14 going into the third. Like, yeah.
You're like, yeah. I'll watch a little bit, and then you see like a pick six. Now it's 38-14. You're like, I'm pretty confident we can wrap this one up. And so
yeah, that's what I did. The Denver Seattle one.
Yeah.
After I think midway through the second quarter, I'm like, yeah, I'm turning this off. There's not a chance.
Right away or whatever it was, it's like, yeah, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, that was bad. But as a fan of the game, I can at least appreciate that nobody ran away with it. It was a good game. It was evenly called. The way it kind of played out, there wasn't going to be a clear winner. You knew it was going to come down to the end, which they normally do. but it was a good game.
Traditional coaching chess match.
Yep. I mean, like a lot of people, the Purdy story is great. The Shanahan story is good, because the lineage with Mike Shanahan and Kyle, and plus you've got Christian being Ed McCaffrey's son. It just so much lineage and quote unquote history. But I don't want to say the better team won, because I don't think that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better coach coached a better game to win. And that's, Andy Reid's a phenomenal coach. Spagnuolo's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. But, it'll be interesting to see in the coming years how Kansas City figures out how to keep the Mahomes-Kelsey thing intact. Because, because of Kelsey's personality, I think he's going to try and sell himself so much that he's not going to be able to play there. He's going to want too much money. I could be wrong. He's got all the advertising, crap going on for him too. But that's the other thing. That's the other reason why I'm tired of the Chiefs. Mahomes, Reed, and Kelsey, and so many fucking commercials. It's like I'm tired of seeing them. Like, I just get off my TV screen.
Oh yeah, you noticed that in the placeholder. There's
I did the State Farm,
and a lot of it. I think that's why Kelsey was
chicken
pissed.
nuggies.
That's why Kelsey was pissed at Andy Reid, and we took his nuggies on the sideline.
I picked up on it. I've seen all the commercials.
Well, if you haven't, you don't watch TV.
Mahomes and Motto. I'm sick of seeing him on TV.
Yeah, and that's where.
Why them?
I get you have them. I'm fine with that. How many other players are there in the NFL? What, again, 32 teams times 50? That's approximately, 1,600-ish?
Yeah, give or take.
It's
2 players and a coach.
And then Jason Kelsey once in a while for the chunky when the mom's in there. And
well,
so
he's also in a detergent ad.
Oh yeah,
who's doing Campbell soup these days? That was always a big one.
Well, the Kelseys.
It used to be what?
It was the Kelseys.
Oh, really?
And their mom was like serving up, and
well, you got to get the mom involved.
Not like Donovan F.
But right. you have Herbert, who does a lot of the Subway stuff. But even Mahomes is in the Subway commercials too.
I did like the Vince Vaughn Tom Brady commercial. Was that MGM or one of the betting apps?
Yeah, that was good.
It's like everybody can play, except Tom. You've already
Tom.
You won too much already. I said that is correct.
The new State Farm commercial with Schwarzenegger and DeVito was pretty good.
That was good. That one
was pretty good.
Dude, and you can hate me for it, but I did like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh, I love that. I laugh so hard when Affleck says you're blinded by the pinstripes. I'm like, oh my god,
right?
Like an A-Rod reference. I'm like, I am.
Yeah,
I'm
a shot at A-Rod in Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Yeah, like I said, there were some good commercials.
It was
What were some of the IRP's chat's favorite commercials? That's what you're supposed to do during a live stream. Ask the chat to participate. Just so I read about this on the internet.
I think Bob is trying to make a push to become the new co-host. Are you trying to push me into retirement, Bob?
No, let me get 6 shows in a row before I start vying for a position.
Hey, you've been working your ass off, man. You get tired, you gotta recharge.
Yeah, this is true. Nobody wants Bob Lewis to be on the IRP. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be the Ed Bird of StreamYard.
Like he was. For
I don't know who that is or what the reference, but I don't want to be that guy. If you say so, I don't want to be him. No.
That's old school reference.
If you go way back in the archives of mine, I have got a video of Ed Bird sleeping on Blog TV.
Like pass the fuck out.
He was done
on a live broadcast.
Yep.
He would out.
And that got me banned from his room. I think I tried to watch and comment, I couldn't, and I'm like,
did he really?
Because you spoke the truth.
Well, that's all right. I could have blacklisted myself. I've shared the story before, but I bought a case of 2010 Prestige from Chris at the Hobby Box, and he offered to break the case for me on Blog TV from his house. Like he didn't want to do it while he was working at the shop, so he took it home and he opened it for me live on Blog TV as a personal case break for me, for everybody to enjoy. And Ed, because of the type of personality he was being a little assholey, and I was the only one who had ops in the room, and I kicked him. And all of a sudden, the fucking chat went like ballistic. Holy shit, you just kicked. What? I didn't know. I felt as though he was being a little trollish. But at the time, I was still quote unquote new. Like I didn't know everybody. But it didn't change anything. Ed and I got actually we became somewhat, I don't want to say like great friends, but we became pretty good friends. I'm the only one with the 101 Glider Man autograph. That ought to tell you something. Yeah, I paid for it, but I said I wanted it. And he was like, how much? I was like, I'll give you $5. He's like, it's yours. It's not like I paid a lot for it. But everybody was jealous that I'm the one who ended up buying it. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And I still have it. Yes, Ed. Respect the history. Respect the history. Somebody did mention, was it last week? Which Dave has tried on numerous occasions to a degree. Get a larger scale group of people on here from the old days to talk about what it was like to be on YouTube back in our prime. Instead of hearing it from just us, other people have stories.
Yeah, and that's always been the bad part. It's when our group, our quote unquote era.
What percentage of your era is still making any kind of content, even if they've blown up or just gone away? Like what? Any percentage?
Less than 5%.
I was gonna say 10, maybe at the most.
5 to 10. Wow.
I mean, it's everybody went over to Facebook.
Yeah.
It was easier to post pictures and then AL Raz something off, or here's what I got in the mail. don't see a lot of them do IG. There ain't much on there for them.
Well, the death of Blog TV,
That really,
that's when it changed.
because yeah, that was like 2013, 2014. It was like March, April. It was getting sold, and people were like, oh, it's still going to be the same, and then they swapped it out and changed it up, and that, like, you want to talk about cratering
Yeah.
a segment of the hobby, that fucking just absolutely a kick to the nuts, and then as you're going down, you get the knee to the chin. So
Yeah.
it was done.
But I mean, that's how everybody hosted their breaks, their case breaks, their box breaks, their mystery packs. All that stuff was done through Blog
Hang
TV
out. Just
and then
hang out.
uploaded to YouTube. And when that went away, YouTube Live was not a thing yet.
No.
So when a lot of I don't want to say it strictly breakers, because it impacted more than just breakers. It happened to guys like me, because I sold boxes for a time. But that wasn't the whole reason why I started on Blog TV. I went out and hung quite a few times just to hang, open up my own personal stuff, or just shoot the shit. But Blog TV gave everybody a chance to interact. Same thing like with this. You had your comments, you had your moderators, which you can technically do with StreamYard too. I've never bothered to do it because I feel like I've been able to block out a lot of the bad phrases from a YouTube perspective, which is why we don't see some of the Russian bots that we used to see. I got rid of all that lingo and type stuff. They're banned words. So, like, even if they try and put it out there, they can't. But you had your moderators in your room who could kick and put people in timeout and everything else. But you had a chance to sit there and just shoot the shit. You couldn't have three people on the screen like we do now. You could have a host and a co-host, but the co-host was like in a little box. So they were really small.
And if you made them bigger, it didn't matter. It wasn't like, oh man, they're ultra clear. It's like
Grainy as F.
Yeah, you're looking through like a camera lens with a rain and in the dark. I mean, it didn't matter.
But you got a chance to talk to people and chit chat and like get to know people. Now you can do the same thing with StreamYard, but it's still a little bit different. It's not Blog TV. It's its own little thing.
What was it, 3 or 4? Like private messages you could have going at the same time. Like you had to
5.
be. You sure 5?
Pretty sure it was 5.
You could be in the room, but you could only. I think it was you could. Was it only in the room you could message?
Yes, actually, you could do it from another room, as long as somebody was online, because you could follow people.
Okay.
And you could see who was online, and you could actually see where they were. So, like, if I was on a live broadcast and I was looking for Ryan, RBI Ryan, and I see he was online, I could go see where Ryan was, and I could actually send him a private message while he was hanging out in somebody else's room, or if he was live. And Dave, you're right. It may have been only 4, but like people, you would see in the chat sometimes, "Hey, so and so, can you close out a private message?"
Yep. Especially if it was a break and people wanted to make a deal, like, hey, can clear out your PM so I can, or your DM or whatever the hell it was, and I gotta message you, whatever the case may be.
But yeah, hey, I need to tell you something. Can you close out of your PMs like you're full?
Yeah. I think I know I went on there live once, and I opened a 93 box of Bowman football.
With
I
the
remember
rainbows.
that. But other than that, I don't think I ever went.
I didn't go live often,
Until you
except
got
for the time I was selling boxes.
I was gonna say when you had the boxes, it's like, when you going live, Steve? Oh, okay. There's a video up. Never mind.
Well, yeah, because like, regardless of what people said, and certain people frowning upon it, you used your resources to get the word out.
Yep.
Because as a community, you support one another. You would see a lot of videos. Hey, join Try Five Ties inner case break of gridiron gear, or go join Puff Bears Puff Packs or custom break or sevens. Like, you saw videos like that all the time
Mm-hmm.
because people wanted to do that. They weren't asked. Like, me selling boxes at the time, I was doing it in partnership with Ryan and Neil. I had the inventory. Ryan and Neil got a percentage. They didn't do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
They got a percentage. It was something that Ryan and myself agreed upon based on the percentage I was getting paid. Because I did all the work.
Mm-hmm.
I had the fun, but I did all the work. Neil did the website. So they still had to work. All sales and coordination of stuff went through Ryan and or Neil. They were paying attention to the chat. They were checking orders, and I was confirming payment via PayPal. Like, it was a partnership. And let me tell you, I have a lot of appreciation for what breakers deal with. That's a lot of fucking work. A lot of fucking work.
Multitasking.
Because, like, I would open the box, inserts, parallels, and hits. That was the agreement. Unlike now, inserts and stuff wouldn't ship 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the hits, which nowadays a hit is a numbered card. But that's a lot of coordinating, keeping separate stacks. No base shipped unless somebody specifically asked for a specific base card or player. Ike Love, when he did all basketball stuff, he wanted all the Jordan base on top of the inserts and the parallels and the hits. So, but I would, like, it was what, Wednesday and Saturday, I think.
So I really remember the Wednesday stuff. That was like, and there'd be a time or two that if you had like strong sales on a Wednesday, you might be like, I'm gonna go on, but we're gonna cap it at like 2 hours for tomorrow. If you're like, man, I'm tired. We've been breaking for a while. When you're going like 3 hours constant, 4 hours, it's like, if you guys want to come on tomorrow, I'll come on for like a couple hours. That's it. But I'm losing. I've lost my steam. I want to continue, but I can't.
Yeah, 5 to 7 hours
Oh yeah,
of packaging, of sleeving and top loading and packaging and shipping. it was a kick in the ass. And then I did the drawing every week for a free box. But it was frowned upon because the stipulation for the free box is any box that you bought, it was one entry. And I had a football, baseball, and a basketball box as one of the 3 freebies that you could pick from. And it wasn't the amount of money you spent. It was based on the number of boxes. And your name went in the hopper, and maybe it was one every 2 weeks. I don't think I did one every week. But the only stipulation was that if you won a box, you had to promote the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Self-promotion? What? That's frowned upon? No. You're getting shit at 10 to 15% lower than anywhere listed on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting the chance of getting something for free.
Yeah.
And there's a problem with self-promotion? I don't know, man. Oh, bye, Bob. Thanks for coming and hanging out. But that was a shit ton of work. If anybody is curious, go back and try and find some of my older videos in the rental house, and you'll see the amount of boxes that were sitting behind me. The shit was crazy. And what's sad is one in particular, 97 SPX, not SPX, 97 EX basketball. He had like 7 or 8 boxes. That was coin during the pandemic. $2003-04 bazooka. At the time, I think I had them listed for $80-something, I think. Those are like $500 or $600 now, which is crazy. But the agreement was 10 to 15% lowest price that I could find besides eBay. Mm-hmm. So it had to be, and it couldn't be like Atlanta Sports Cards or Blowout either. Mm-hmm. It had to be like a dealer or a shop, that type of stuff. That's how the percentage discount came into play. But like, I mean, I opened some golf shit. I opened up some tennis stuff. Like I had all the sports.
Yeah, you had the Ace or whatever the hell that tennis was. It was like
and one of the biggest cards of that set came out. It was a dual auto of Federer and Nadal.
I mean, and we didn't have. There might have been what? How many people in the room? I want to say 15 to 20.
Maybe.
I mean, a lot of the times it was like between 10 and 15. It was the same. Like now, it's the same folks that were like, "Hey, Steve's breaking, something to do."
Yep.
If I got extra funds, I might try to get in. If not, I'll just support him by watching him. And that the box with Ruth and the Marty Marion, that's the one that I
still remember that.
If I don't remember anything else, that's gonna always be that, like getting the Marion. Holy shit, that is insane! That patch to whatever it was, 3 or 5 or
10, I think.
And just seeing that, and it's like the cardinal beak or whatever. It was something very intricate on that cardinal. And like, man,
it was old school cardinal at that.
The wool from like the 40s or 50s. And then you're like, oh, that's got to be it. I mean, that's a fucking monster. And then that Ruth came out, and I'm like, oh my god, fucking huge.
And then, of course, the Ruth came out. That's one of my most viewed videos. That is one of my most viewed videos. And what's interesting, like I deleted the comment, I think, because I want to say 6-7 years ago, somebody put a comment on there like, really? That's only like a couple $100 card. At that point in time, that was huge when it was pulled. They didn't have many $1,000 cards back when I was doing that, right?
No.
I'm like, you're missing the point. I'm like, I didn't even bother to respond. I'm like, you know what? Delete comment. I'm like, go fuck yourself. It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of fucking work, man. And most of it was loose boxes. It's not like I was breaking cases. It was loose boxes.
Random stuff that was around
and overall, considering, like, there was some nice shit that came out for a lot of people. Dave, you want to answer that question?
I don't think, again, if people are putting Beckett prices on cards at a card show, they're struggling. I get where a lot of these dealers are old school. I will not sit there and badmouth somebody for doing something they've done for 30 years, 40 years. Is it conducive to making a sale? Probably not. Sometimes, though, you can find some deals because these guys are so stuck with the mag. For me, and this goes for me because I'm never going to say, "Oh, I know exactly what I'm buying. I know that market." Josh Johnson, a couple other guys, I know. So if I see cards of theirs and I know that I see a price, even if it's above what I really feel comfortable paying, it's like $10, $15, $20 more. I'm like, the time that, let's say if it's an 08 or 09 101, that's been locked up, buried in a pack, whatever the case may be, for 14, 15 years. If I got to pay $20 more than I feel comfortable with for a card that just surfaced after 15 years or whatever, I am more than happy to. If it feels good, if you're not like, oh, this is like really cringeworthy, I don't know if I could spend this. Beckett number, quote unquote comp number, quote unquote dealer just putting a number out there, then don't do it. There's some stuff though that people don't have a clue. Sometimes it can be like a baseball rookie, a football rookie. Again, a lot of the times, like the Mike Andersons that came on late, Jamal Anderson, Terrell Davis, Curtis Martin, people that didn't have necessarily in the early sets tops score. Upper Deck, I think, had Curtis Martin, but a lot of them, the stuff you see for the rookies was the better sets. Select Certified, Bowman's Best. Stuff that came out SP later, a little later in the year. It wasn't the usual rookie premiere photo shoot type stuff, and that's it. So just depends on what it is. It's always going to depend on what it is.
See, that's what I was going to go with. So, and I'm actually going to throw out an example. So, from my perspective, Terrell Davis, earlier this year or late last year, Beckett has the PMG green from 97 at $5,000. Well, I know one of the last ones sold for close to 8,000. So from a Beckett perspective, if to pay 5,000 instead of 8, I'd jump on it if I had that kind of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the just the regular red PMG. They have it listed as 1,500. Sales are a little bit more sporadic with that. They go from anywhere between 12 and 18. So like $1,500 is right in the middle. So like Dave said, it all depends on the card. Because unfortunately, now that we have the internet, and let's face it, a lot of people leverage, you know, comps as a way to base pricing. Is that the case for everything? No. Is it feasible for everything? No. Because there are times in which stuff gets sold for a lot cheaper than what it should, or vice versa. So, like Beckett, using the Beckett as a guide is not as relevant as what it once was. But if a dealer or a shop owner wants to live and die by it, there are situations in which it can work in your favor. Other times, not so much, because they could still have, I don't know, 97 Topps Chrome Jake Plummer rookie listed at $15 because that's what it still shows in the Beckett, but yet you can pick them up all day long for a couple bucks. And I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just giving another example, potential. So it's all about doing your research, and we preach that quite frequently. If you think something's reasonable, then by all means. If it isn't, negotiate. But, on the flip side, don't try and lowball either. Because then they're just going to look at you and brush you off, right? Unlike Dave and trying to not lowball a seller, and then somebody ends up selling it for half of what he was offering. And yes, I know that one still hurts. It still hurts me because that's a load of shit. But it is what it is in those situations, right?
Basically. Oh God. I still haven't even messaged that guy on IG about it. I'm like, so I'm sure. Well, I like Josh Johnson too. You might, but not to the degree that others do.
It really does boil down to, do you feel like you're getting a good deal? And I'm speaking from a collecting perspective. I'm not talking about flipping or adding it to your inventory. If you feel like you are getting a good deal, then nothing wrong with it. It's all about how you feel about the situation. What makes you feel good, or what you think what you feel is a good deal, is not the same for somebody else. Because for all you know, you could have paid $100 for whatever you got. I'm just throwing it out there. And somebody could come along and be like, well, you got ripped off. Well, that may be from your perspective. But for me, I felt good about it. So go fuck off. It's no different than telling somebody what they should collect. It's the same thing. Don't tell me where I should spend my money or how much money I spent, because you can disagree, and it's okay to disagree. We're allowed to do that. But like, how good would I feel about myself? Dave ends up snagging a really big card, a 101 for Josh Johnson, and he pays $350 hypothetically. You think I'm going to tell him, dude, you overpaid? No. Why would I tell him that? That's his guy. That's what he was willing to pay. Kudos to you, man. Congratulations, man. That's big.
And
That's
and
what
don't you think Steve already knows that I know I overpaid on 350 Josh Johnson card?
But it's, you get my, I mean,
Oh,
everybody
yeah, I
gets
get
my
it.
point. It's, who gives a shit? Like, I know I've probably overpaid on stuff in my days, but it's because I wanted it and I felt good with it. So, like, fuck off. Nowadays, like some of the stuff that I see Terrell Davis sell for in certain situations, I'm like, they overpaid. I'm not going to tell them that, but I'm sitting there telling myself, like, you overpaid. And no, I'm not comparing to what I bought stuff pre-COVID either. I'm talking about stuff I've been able to still find opportunities to get during the hype of the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that card's normally you should go for this. You bought it for 2 times that. That hurts.
Especially if it's something like numbered to 10 or less, where it's okay, it's limited. There's a finite amount of copies out there. You know of 6 copies, let's say, amongst the fraternity of TD/Broncos collectors that are locked up. Okay, there's four out there. I get where that's going to be an escalating number. It's not going to be like, oh man, you got that for half the price I got mine. It's like, well, no, that's not going to happen because it's a nice card that people are going, like, again, a Prism 14 gold, something like that. So
a Prism 14 karat, really?
No, 14 Panini Prism.
Time out. Prism golds.
Yeah.
And there is no 14 karat.
No, I'm saying 2014.
Okay, I thought you were talking like trying to go.
No.
Going, wait a minute, time out. What are you doing, Dave?
Like the old QVC, like the 22 or 14 karat gold card. Man, this is a great card, and no, it's not. It's cool looking, but
I know where you're going now, because I'm like, okay, wait, now I'm getting confused. Now you're mixing up shit. Are you purposely doing this, Dave? Like, wait a minute, like you would never do that or anything.
I'm practicing my eBay listings.
Considering, the 90 tops is Joe Montana's rookie year, at least so I've heard.
Duh,
somewhere.
if you don't, why are you collecting, bro?
Or the 52 tops Mantle rookie.
Very much so.
Like, you don't even have to be a baseball guy to know fucking that's not the case. Look in the Beckett FTC first tops card. There's no RC next to that card.
People are too dumb to realize that.
But I digress. But I will say I did win my first card of 2024. I had to.
So did I.
No. No, I had to for reasons. It'll give me 75% of the print run, technically. So I showed this earlier.
Correct.
I now have the black and incoming.
Okay.
So I have 3 of the 4. 3 of the 4. I will never complete the rainbow because the gold vinyl 101 sold some time ago when I wasn't willing to pay that price. So 3 of the 4.
I know. I think I showed that last week.
Weak on the patch, but nice card.
10.
That's why I was getting it like weak on the patch. See, that should have been in the gold.
I know. And that's to 3.
Red to 3. That's interesting.
I don't know if the black was the one. I don't. Jersey number. Only reason
Inception. Inception was such a beautiful product. Laden with a bunch of shit bags, though. So that's Ibrahim, I'm guessing. Yes?
No.
You're kind of blurry.
I know.
Josh Johnson?
The running back from Louisiana Monroe or Lafayette.
Don't tell me you're going to go after another Josh Johnson in the NFL.
I pick his stuff up when it's cheap and cool. Otherwise, I don't. I've failed on one already.
Well, yeah, because you did the quarterback. 2 for a time.
Oh, that'll show up
That's
nice
not-
and to 15. The 85 tops mini.
That's a pretty looking card, man.
I think that's the second or third copy of that.
I've never seen that one before. That's a pretty looking card.
The pink to
Brady.
99. I didn't remember if I had this or not. I couldn't. It was like I think $6 shipped. Like I know I've been outbid for that.
Oh, yep. Rival. Is that Rivals or Clash?
I think the Clash Contenders Clash. So well, I'll get it. And these 2 came in today. We've already got a few of those, but again, one of the 1 in 72ers. Out 96 Ultra, the Golden Prospects.
Cool
And
card.
then I think anybody that collected at this time, any product.
Ultimate
Or any
Collection.
sword. Nope.
Is it just straight upper deck?
UD Premier.
Okay. I see the upper deck, but I couldn't see the Premier.
Yeah, where the hell was? Oh, of course, it's underneath the FL.
Okay,
So
that's why I didn't notice it.
So yeah, there's
2007 Upper Deck Premier was like the shit for baseball. Holy cow! That and black.
Chris, fucking how many of the God? That and football. That's all you ever saw. Just
Premier Premier and Upper Deck Black. Was such a beautiful product.
No George Cantu. I know there's somebody, God, was it on Blowout way back when? That loved him. I think of either him or Mexican players. There's a guy that just like collected Mexican players, and I think when Cantu had the triple threads, I think he went to the All-Star game, so he had 2 or 3 of the patches, and I think the 9, like the All-Star one, like I got Johnson a few weeks ago. I know he had a good collection because I mean he'd get stuff in, and I'm like, I've never seen any of this stuff.
But yeah, it was God. 2007 Upper Deck Premier Baseball. Football, not so much. A lot of it was opened, don't get me wrong, but it paled in comparison to baseball. From the patch perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think football had way too many jerseys. Way too many.
Yeah,
But then, like I said, Upper Deck 2007. No, what was it? 2009 Upper Deck Black. It was 09.
Yeah, that
People
was
loved that shit.
Especially those flag patches, like the American flag manu. It's the autos, that gold ink and that hollow foil.
2 packs, 2 cards per pack for $100.
Which again, at the time, we were like, ooh, 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 ooh.
But there were some pretty cards, man. Some pretty cards. I think I have one of I think I have a favorited video of one of the breaks that Chris did for me. It was 07? No, it couldn't have been 07. It was black, triple threads, and something else.
Probably 08 Premier or gridiron gear.
But I got like the merino patch booklet out of triple threads. It was ultimate because I got the Peterson numbered to 15, and then out of black, I got Sanchez rookie auto, and then a Greg Jennings flag patch auto out of my box of black. Which normally, if you got like a regular rookie auto, that's usually what your other auto was.
Mm-hmm.
And almost that was just the way that it kind of worked. And I kind of beat those odds.
A little bit.
But that was probably one of my better breaks through Chris. Of course, everybody remembers me fucking the snowman when I pulled the Tebow mirror gold out of certified. Because that was a huge card. It was PC. Next year, I think, Mario. I think it's next year. But I think there's going to be a gap. I think there's going to be a gap because one, like they get the players license, the NFLPA license before they actually get the NFL license. I think there's like a lapse. Not by much, but I still think it's going to be a little bit prolonged. Because they signed, so Panini had it for what, 10 years, starting in 2015?
Mm-hmm.
That was the original agreement. And everybody bitched about it, but that didn't change anything. Was it 2015? Because there was Topps products in 2015. So that's when they, or was it?
Yeah, 15 was the last year for Top because they had that stupid
Correct.
sticker.
I mean, I remember the last year of Topps products because of Topps Chrome, because that's what I always attribute everything to. But it was a 10-year agreement, which means it would have started in 2016. But I guess technically, if they signed it in 2015, it's still a 10-year agreement. So it would still expire in 25. If they do it right.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it right. And it needs to be different than baseball. The few years that I feel like Topps did chrome the same for baseball and football, it was stupid. Like 2007, for instance, is the one that sticks out. 2007 Topps chrome baseball and football were exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Black bordered, same refractor parallels. Like, it was dumb. Anytime they actually did the Topps, like they did different designs for the two sports, I think it was better. My opinion. But like they need, like, personally, I think they need to go back to its roots and not infiltrate with 65 different refractor parallels. If you want to do like refractor, X-fractor, black refractor, gold refractor, red, I'd be okay with that. But don't, like, later years with all the refractor parallels and the sepia variations, and like, I know some people liked it, and I'm not dogging it. It was a cool concept, a cool idea, but don't oversaturate it with 15 million parallels. Just don't. Go back to regular Topps Chrome rookie card autos. Get rid of the patch crap. Like, don't you're not SP authentic. You're not national treasures. You're not flawless. Like, stay away from the RPAs. You're not Topps finest. Like, just regular rookie autos, and then rookie auto refractors if you wanted to go to that extreme or to that extent. But
Because what? Oh, 08? They were the first year of the patch autos. Because I think, and again, they were numbered to either like 50 or less.
don't.
Because again,
I think that's right, Dave. I know 06 and 07, it was standard just rookie autos with some parallels. 05, you had the X Fractor rookie autos, which were like the box toppers, which was like the first origination of the rookie auto variation in Topps Chrome. But I think 08 is right, is when they did it.
because I thought I had a Lima Swede somewhere amongst the junk. I don't know if it was to 25 or to 50, but I know they were tougher than shit. And if you're gonna do that, make that to 25, and don't do any parallels. Just make it a patch auto refractor.
But don't make that the only rookie autograph variation, though.
No,
That's part of the problem.
No, make that as sort of like an unannounced Easter egg. Like, hey, some people start pulling them, be like, "What the hell is this?" But like, yeah, we had X amount in there, or whatever.
But I let the products that were known for RPAs keep RPAs. Stop trying to be another product with RPAs.
Yep.
And I get it. That's what people want, but that's not always what pushes the product. The rookie class is what pushes the product. It doesn't matter what you give them as far as a rookie autograph. Yes, a lot of people like the patch autos. I get it. But not every product has to have an RPA.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, like, none of them really are special. Just my take on it, my opinion.
No, if you're gonna have the any jerseys and tops chrome, it's gotta be again that the bonus hit, as it were. Again, like 25, and that's it. Or the other thing I remember with Topps Chrome, like the real early stuff from like '02, when they had
They had Pro Bowl
Pro-
jerseys in
the
a
Pro
couple
Bowl.
years.
Get those. I'm okay with that because it's something they had.
Kings of the NFL was a cool idea
Yep.
from a jersey perspective because they had it both in Topps and Topps Chrome.
Yep.
So that was a cool concept and a cool idea.
But they didn't have that as sort of like a set. That was more or less, was it two players than a duel?
Well, like Terrell Davis and Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
I think
Because
that's right.
it wasn't like a 40 card set, a 30 card set, a 20 card set. It was just
No, it was small. It was
10 or less. And if you're gonna keep doing it that way. So I won't say some prestige is still with it, but at the same time, where
some consistency, some nostalgia, as like it's
keep going with
Tops.
the lineage.
Yeah, Tops is Tops. Tops Chrome is Tops Chrome.
Yeah.
You don't have to overdo it. Triple threads would be cool to have back from a football perspective. But
No,
again,
no
you're
game on.
you're gonna be dealing with too much player worn stuff. And Top's triple threads in its prime was outside of the rookies
Which
was
you
game
knew,
worn.
they were going to be the rookie premiere photo shoot, but you accepted it because again, that was the norm. That was, everybody knew that.
Yeah, you weren't paying for you weren't paying for game worn rookie jersey stuff
Hmm.
like you weren't. You were paying for rookie year jersey. I know that sounds redundant, but you knew it wasn't game worn. You knew that going in. But everything else was game used. You knew like when Panini and you knew when you started seeing high end products with player worn crap that it's going to garbage. It's going to shit. And yet people are still paying a premium because of the product.
Hmm.
I don't get it. A different kind of RPA. Topps Prime, they were quad jersey pieces.
Yep.
But technically you could call it an RPA. Like Topps Unrivaled was the same way. But like it's hard to call it an RPA because when you think of an RPA, it is a patch auto. And Topps Prime had its variation, but it was quad jerseys. Unrivaled had rookie jersey autos, and then they had a patch variation. I don't remember Topps Prime having patch variations. But then again, it's not like I opened a lot of Prime or I did a whole lot of searching for Topps Prime stuff. I know I have a Demarius Thomas, but it's the quad jersey rookie auto. But that was also what 2010,
Hmm.
and Prime was it a 2-year product? Or was it one and done?
No, I thought there was.
See, I didn't like if Terrell Davis wasn't in it, I didn't see a lot of stuff for some of those products either. So you
Mhm.
also have to take that into perspective.
No, I'm trying to think.
Because Finest had they had jerseys, rookie jersey autos. They also had quote unquote RPAs. Bowman Platinum was the same.
Hmm.
I was trying to think. They had regular rookie autos, and then they had they had RPAs though too, of varying numbering.
I was gonna say I'm trying to. I know 12 because of Dougie, so I'm trying to think if he had Prime then. I'm pretty sure he did.
So it could have been a 3-year product.
And I want to say Amaro's got it. I'm almost 100% certain there that he's the Topps Prime 14.
Yeah, Mario. I know they had the jersey autos. I know that for a fact because I have a Demarius Thomas. But outside of that, I don't remember them having specific what they would call an RPA.
Yeah, because I don't think it was like a regular, the regular set. Like when I think of RPAs, I think of like you said NT, SP
SP,
Authentic,
SP Authentic. Yep.
Spooner and Baz. Trying to think who else.
National Treasures, Exquisite.
Yeah, like UD Premier. I want to say had. They might not have. I could be just like off base there, but I know that
They had patch variations, but there was it was like for instance 2007. It was 2007
yeah,
die cut with the quad jersey and the auto, but they had patch variations.
Leaf
And
Limited. Because Leaf Limited had the regular rookies, and not all of
yeah,
them had the nice patches, but at the same time, you had the ones what? Ugh,
well
so
they had the team cut out, and those were patches. They didn't have regular jersey versions. I didn't think for Leaf Limited
it, I
for
don't.
the rookies.
I'd have to go back and look at like the I'm what I think of in my mind is the '04 with like Roethlisberger, Fitz, Eli, Rivers. Um, and I know because you had like the regular, you had the silver spotlight, you had the gold spotlight. I don't know if there's bronze. I'm fairly certain there was.
Let's see the Phenoms, which is what you're going with.
Yep, because that was part of the actual quote unquote. If you're trying to piece together the set, those
They
were
were
technically part of the set.
they were patch variations numbered to 150. Horizontal. And then you had the spotlight variations. But every one I'm seeing, you can tell, even the single colors, they're patches.
Greg Jones was in there. Chris Perry. I think who else? Oh, Reggie
Matt
Williams,
Schaub, Matt
former Georgia.
Schaub, Dante
Shaw,
Robinson,
top 5
my
top pick.
Tatum Bell, Michael Clayton.
Mark Clayton, or no, that would have been 05 for him.
There's Larry. There's Fitz. Kerry Colbert. There's Michael Clayton. Yeah, this one card I'm looking at, it's part of the Steeler logo. It's in a number to 10 variation, which is probably the gold spotlight. It's listed as a gold prism refractor, which cracks me up.
Oh,
but it's the Steeler logo, and I call bullshit. Like that patch is probably fake. Just throwing it out.
Depends on. There's one guy that I would trust and he's out, and I swore I saw like a Leaf Limited patch the other day being sold from a guy in the UK. And there was one guy on Beckett, and then I don't think he was on Freedom Cardboard. I think he was on like Collector Planet when we started that up after all the Beckett bullshit started back in the day in like 07, 08-ish. And he was out of the UK, and he fucking busted a ton of Leaf Limited. I mean, he was a huge Joey Harrington guy, and he just bumped cases of it.
In certain situations, for like a star player, I could see it, but from a rookie perspective, I find it a lot harder to believe.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of back in those days, your sicker patches were more for like your extreme lower number, 5 or less type situation. So it's possible it could be legit. It's
always a red flag, or at least
yes.
a heavy caution flag.
Yep.
The old proceed with caution, just because. Again, we've said it,
for
man.
for $4,000 anyways. Like it's a beautiful looking card. But don't list it as a gold prism refractor because Leaf Limited doesn't do refractors or prism. It's a gold spotlight. But we talk about that all the time, using the right nomenclature on stuff. It just pisses you off. So Mario, here's my guess. Like the two biggest ones that come to mind would be Topps 5-star, because that was always Topps premium brand for a while. Topps Definitive, I think, will make a comeback, potentially from a football perspective. And there's always the possibility, now that Fanatics owns the Topps name, it wouldn't surprise me if you don't see another run at Transcendent. That's my take, because like 5-star and Definitive were the two big Topps products for a while.
Triple threads too, but I mean, they watered that down.
They did, but from a price point perspective, your 5-star was on par with like your Exquisite and your National Treasures. Definitive was closer to like your Flawless price point, if memory serves me right, and then Transcendent was like $8,000 or $10,000 or some shit, 12, 15, whatever the fuck it was.
20, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
There's a lot. Something we couldn't afford.
But I mean, the push for Transcendent is you got like your one base set, You got your box topper, you got your cut autograph, you got the ticket to a VIP type deal. Like you could get a sketch card, you got a superfractor, and then you got your box of like 30 autographs, ranging anywhere from number to 15 down to 101. So I mean, it was not saying that the price wasn't justified, because for the price point, you get a lot of shit. And you know what you're getting to a degree. Like, you know the subjects that are in it. And when you open like the autograph, like the box of autographs, you know you're going to get an autograph of everybody from the set. You just don't know what it's numbered to. That's like the surprise. But you don't know like what your cut would be, or your superfractor, or your sketch type thing. You don't know what the VI like. It's a cool idea and a cool concept, but most people can't afford that. It's almost, it's on the same price point of Panini. What is it? Eminence? Was that the last big one that Panini did that like was the stupidest fucking thing ever, that almost everything was player worn, and it was $20,000 or $30,000 for like 5 cards or some shit. But like Topps kind of stayed more true to its foundation. The only reason why they came out with definitive and 5-star is because they had to compete in that market range, because Upper Deck and Panini had them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling the product. So the money potential was there. So I don't know. Museum Collection make a comeback. Museum Collection was another higher end product from Topps. If I had my say so, I'd go with Museum Collection and 5-star. Those would be the two that should come back. 5-star was absolutely gorgeous. Museum Collection was beautiful with the framed windows. Dark background, silver and gold ink, just beautiful, beautiful, very eye appealing. I mean, they could bring back Top Supreme, but I wouldn't consider that a high end.
No.
They could turn it into high end, I guess, if they wanted to. You showed Inception earlier. I think that was another pretty product, well designed.
Not a ton of money either. I think those are what, 80 to 100.
80 to 100 bucks. Yeah, 80 to 100 bucks a box. You didn't get a lot out of them because it was one pack. It was a 1 pack per box product. But like a lot of risk, because there was a lot of shit bags in it.
Oh.
And I mean, you could, but that's anything. Any 1 pack, any 1 per pack box product type situation, that's the risk that you're going to have. Top Supreme and Inception were 2 of the 1 per pack type deal. And you could do really good, or you could be like, oh shit, this like I should have gone outside and taken $100 bill and let the wind fucking blow it somewhere.
Yeah. More than likely you're getting Titus Young or Agnew instead of something.
Yeah. And that's what it's just because they do everything from a rookie premiere photo shoot type situation, which is like your top guys, and only a small handful of the top guys amount to shit.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, they have to do it in order to fill product, or what's the point? Because Top Supreme had some beautiful freaking cards. Beautiful. Case in point. It's not the one I wanted to show because I've shown that one a multitude of times. Where is it? I mean, beautiful looking cards. Clean. The gold stickers, just they're beautiful. But a lot of garbage in those products too.
Oh,
A lot of garbage in those products.
yeah, and a lot of that stuff that was cool back then. It's like, oh man, that's a great combination. Because I know I got like a 4-way patch, 20 maybe. With some receivers, but it's like Marquise Lee, somebody on the Colts who I can't even think of, and 2 others. It's like, yeah, that was somebody for the Seahawks. I don't think it's Lockett, and I don't think it's DK. It's somebody else. And you're
Golden
just like,
Taint.
no, it would have been over what, 14? 14 maybe. I don't fucking know, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Cooks might have been on there too. No, Cooks was 16.
If you say so.
I think. Whatever. Again, that's late. It's lengthy week. No, Stokely was 99. Crypto grifter.
Yeah, I'm not.
But it's a cool looking card. But these guys now are,
They're shitbags.
yeah, they did again. Cool then. Little hope. No hope.
So, Dave, random question. Any chance you're planning on doing a response to Eric's tabletop?
I've got to see when it goes through. Like when the deadline is.
I was just curious because, like, I have a few on my watch later list that I need to get around to. I hadn't seen Brad yet. He was one
Scott.
of the first, but Brad was one of the first ones I saw posting a video. I know Scott has his. I hadn't watched his. Um, was it Orlando? Posted his. And I want to say I thought Stuke also posted one. I know they're on my watch later list. But I was just curious because, you know, it's an open-ended thing. There's no set requirement as far as what you would do.
Yeah.
I mean, because you could go a multitude of ways. That's the only reason why I was asking, because it's like if you ended up doing it, I'd be interested to see which path you would take. Is all I'm getting at, because you could go a multitude of different directions.
There'd be 2 ways I'd go that I'd think of. And one would be the game use patches, but it wouldn't just be, I don't know if it'd be Hall of Fame game use patches or Josh Johnson 101s. That would be it. Huh.
Thank you for the update, Paul.
Yeah, they had won 16, 17 in a row. Which again, that's my favorite team. I didn't have a clue. Watched, I think, the first few minutes of the first period the other night against Vegas. And they had lost that game, but hadn't lost since, I don't know what it was, December 16th, 18th, something like that.
So, Ed, though, the question is, which path would you take for the Eagles PC? Would you strictly do autos? Would you do patches? Would you do patches and autos? Would you break it up into multiple videos? I mean, I know your Eagles PC is fairly large considering. Because, like, for me, and it's kind of funny, Vinny's not here, but because he always talks about how hard it is to buy for me, when in essence, it really isn't. Really isn't. Especially when you have my checklist for the Terrell Davis side, first and foremost. But, like, the Broncos auto collection, I've said, I've always, like, the objective is if there is an autograph in a Broncos uniform, I want at least every player,
Hmm.
which includes rookies. How many rookie autos have I shown in the last however many years? Not many.
No, but there's a reason for that.
Because I haven't gotten them. I haven't picked them up.
Well, that and some of these people that want some like you want
Well,
a pink
the
hollow or
price points.
whatever out of optic and you want 350 for it of Jerry Judy. It's like, really? Like, I like Jerry Judy, but I'm not paying $350 for anything of Jerry Judy. Even a couple hours of his time.
No. And that's a lot of it, but there's still guys that, from the late 2000s going into the 2010s, like, that I don't have. Like, not because I haven't looked at them, I just haven't pulled trigger on some of them. I have some nice Eddie Royals in the collection. I wouldn't call them sick because, like, the only thing you can get that's best you can get is 3-color or freaking name or Broncos across the chest. Outside of that, I mean, you could get some letter uh, nameplate patches, but, like, the Broncos, the best you can get is technically 3 colors. But I have some nice Eddie Royal stuff. I have, and that's the thing. Like, Demarius Thomas, I have quite a bit. I have quite a bit of Eddie Royal. I have quite a bit of Von Miller. Um, but it's the other guys. I don't. Not that I won't enjoy them if I have more than one of said player. That's not what I'm getting at. But that whole collection was surrounded upon any player that wore a Denver Broncos uniform that has a certified auto. I want I want at least one. At least one. I know it doesn't apply, but that's the reason why I have a Jerry Rice jersey card in a Broncos uniform. And it is a Broncos jersey. Because he signed the one, it's not game worn. I know that. But he signed that 1-day contract just to give him an opportunity to be able to retire as an active player.
Hmm.
So, like, I knew it wasn't game worn, but the fact that I saw it and I'm like, holy shit, Jerry Rice in a Broncos uniform, I gotta have that. He won't have any certified autos, which is fine. I wouldn't expect that. That's okay. But, I have the Tony Dorsett. He doesn't have a whole lot of Broncos autos,
Hmm.
but, it's one in which it's like, okay, he has one. I need one. But there's a ton of players out there that, like, I don't have. And at some point, I need to get off my ass and I need to freaking do a PC showcase like Ed kind of alluded to, and just go through the certified autos. Just so I have a record, but for anybody out there that wants to find and give me something, that's not why I'm doing it, but then they'll know which players I have. And then Vinny can get off my ass and quit saying that I'm that difficult to buy for. Because there's still plenty. There's still plenty. Actually, let me see. We're coming up on 2.5 hours. Let me shift some stuff real quick. I gotta figure out which box it is, though. I got too much shit in this closet. Let me shift some stuff real quick. This go down here briefly because I don't want what I'm moving to smush the smaller box. Which box is this? That is definitely. Oh, there's some jerseys and stuff in here, but that's not the box. It's going to be this one. Of course, it's going to be the one at the fucking bottom. Because that's just how it always is. Ugh, shit. Lost the earphones. Of course, I should say the earbuds, because that's what they are. Let me put the laptop on here. Carry this over here. Let's see what I can pull out of here real quick and show some random shit. This is the universe from the University of Texas collection. I pulled this card. Dual auto of Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy. Number 225. I was trying to see. There used to be a rhyme or reason to how this fucking box was organized. I don't think it is anymore. Let's see. Nobody of significance. He wasn't as good as what he was last year. There's a nice Shannon Sharp out of National Treasures. I'll see if I can find some Eddie Royal for you, Ed. Ton of Eric Pecker. So outside of 3-color, that's off the Broncos nameplate. So that's also one of the best things that you can get. Some of these were pulled by me. Some were given. There's a laundry tag for No Sean. There's you a nice jumbo patch. So much Eric Pecker stuff. See, that's the Topps Prime that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Just the quad jersey auto. There's a No Sean printing plate. Not that you need to see what a printing plate looks like. Everybody knows what a printing plate looks like. Shit. There's the Duke Terrell Davis stuff. Here's a blast from the past. Maurice Claret. Hey, had to have one.
I know. I get it.
Here's all the Demarius Thomas stuff. I mean, that's a nice patch. And that's because, like, there's the other Topps Prime. Because, like, I knew what I was thinking about. Where I'll get to that one eventually because that's the big one. Jersey, patch, rookie booklet, rookie autos. Roy Williams, Earl Campbell. There's all the University of Texas stuff. Vince Young. Where is? I'll take that out somewhere. That's interesting. My NT patch auto is not in here. There's you a nice looking chunky patch. Ronnie Hillman. That's weird. My NT Demarius Thomas patch auto is not in here. That's a problem. There's you another nice little chunky patch of Ronnie Hillman. I found the Eddie Royals, Ed. I was trying to see. I mean, there's a 3-color out of Leaf Rookies and Stars. There's a jumbo 3-color with the piece of the football. Mirror red. Brandon Marshall. There's your SPA rookie patch auto. Not a patch, but jumbo auto, number to 15. Like I said, I'm not showing everything here. Who is that? Is that Brandon? Oh no, Ashley Lilly, piece of shit. Brandon Marshall. Still pisses me off. I wonder where my fucking my NT patch auto is. There's a nice Champ dual 3-color SPA patch or letter patch auto. Jake the Snake. Believe it or not, I own a Kyle Orton autograph and a Broncos uniform. Worst decision ever. Tatum Bell. There's a nice Elway. Let's see. Elway patch. Elway patch. Elway patch. Let's see what else is over here. Darius Watts. Garbage, but SPA. Rookie patch auto.
I thought he was going to be something.
Got to have a Dan Reeves. I don't know if I have any Dawkins autos in a Broncos uniform. I'm still going through here. Like, and what's sad is that I have so many of certain players too. Like, not that I have an issue with that. That was a big card. Exquisite Brian Clady. Freaking that rainbow hollow foil. Absolutely fucking gorgeous card. There's Von Miller. I got quite a bit of Von Miller stuff. I miss that guy. God, do I miss that guy. There's a big old jumbo patch out of plates and patches. My lone Tebow that's left. Brock Osweiler. Well, it's not my only Tebow left, but my only autograph of him that I have left because I sold the other one when his stuff went through the roof. Kenny McKinley, rest in peace. Where? I have one more little section to look at to see. I don't think Dawkins had. There's a nice Eddie Mack. Number to 20. There's Rod Smith, Champ. That's a nice freaking big ass chunky jumbo patch of Rod Smith. That's the Tony. Love that card. Dave, are you still awake?
Barely.
I'm trying to get through this because Tony Scheffler. Love this fucking card.
Oh,
Jason
2000
Jason,
finest.
Yep, finest moments. Jason Elam. One of his only
Certified autos.
certified auto. Yep. If you're a Broncos guy, you have to have a Mike Shanahan autograph. This card, when he was murdered, that card shot through the fucking roof. Darren, rest in peace. I love that card too. And yes, this is not like not everybody's getting every card as far as who I have autos of. Got to have Dan Reeves. I think I showed that one earlier. I think that's the second copy that I have. Last small stack here. There's Bubby. Yep. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know where the hell my NT Demarius Thomas patch auto went. It's somewhere here. It's not like it would have gone anywhere. But that's, I mean, as far as like big cards from the Broncos auto collection outside of like the LA stuff, that NT patch auto of Demarius Thomas. And I know I have it here somewhere. Just don't know where it is at the moment.
Night, Baz.
Night, Baz. But that's a quick show and tell of a few things. I'll eventually, like I said, go through and do all the autos. So people know for sure. There's my my dupe Excalibur game helmet auto. Yeah. Gotta have, any of my dupe autos go into the Broncos collection when it comes to autos and stuff. But That concerns me. Where would I have put my fucking NT patch auto? Maybe it's in the other box and I didn't realize it. It's always possible. But yeah, and most of these, like I've had forever. Freaking lost the earbuds again. Because almost all of those come from, prime YouTube days. Would I have put it in here? I mean, I have multiple boxes of stuff. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's true RPA. Yep, to 99. I knew I had a couple other that I hadn't integrated in. Of course, my Peyton from Vinny last year. Yeah, these were the ones that I hadn't gotten integrated or reintegrated back into alignment with the players. So I'll have to make sure when I do my PC showcase, I have
You have everything at your disposal.
everything. Yep, for the autos. But stuff like that, it's kind of nice to look back through and kind of see what you have from time to time. But that would not be my tabletop. I think if I end up doing it, it's going to be a reshoot of the 2010 Leaf Certified Mirror Gold patch set. Just because it's only one of 5 sets that could ever be completed. That was a huge accomplishment when I completed that damn thing. And that thing is not going anywhere. I don't care. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mario. But it's been, 14 years? Probably since I showed it off. Because I think I finished it in 2011, 2012, and that's when I would have posted the video originally. That was a task, to say the least.
Well, again, you had just like with the absolute patches, those jumbo ones. You had so many people in the community at the time that wanted to put those cards or those sets together. So I remember Alan, Zepho TBS, now goes to Zepho. He had a lot of that stuff, and there was a lot of those. I want to say Breeze was one either to 5 to 3 to 2 to 1. I mean, there's I think 2 1-on-1s in the set, and that like pissed a lot of people off.
Yep.
Like, how can you put a set together with 1-on-1s and say, well, then get the 1-on-1? It's like, no, these are cards that were to 25 or to 50. It's like, why the fuck change them? So,
well, and that was when I decided to do because I did the Jumbo Mirror Gold rookie patch set too. Those are all numbered to 25. But, I originally looked at the set and I'm like, okay, 4 short prints, everything else numbered to 50. Doable.
Yep.
3 of the short prints, one was to 20, one was to 15. I think one is to 10, I think. Ryan was short printed. Stafford was short printed. There was somebody else. And then Chris Beanie Wells was the one numbered to 5. That's the one that was always going to be the potential issue. And I paid more for that card than what I did for like both short prints put together and then some. But like the Brady, and this is why that set would never go anywhere, is that Brady was gifted to me from my adept in Houston.
Juan.
Steve ended up pulling it while we were at the show. Yep, Steve Camarillo pulled it while we were at the show. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, he looked, I was like, immediately, I was like, I need that one. And he kind of looked at me. He's like, you need that one for your set? I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you want to do for it? He's like, and he just gave it to me. That's before, of course, the big Brady hype.
Yeah.
Like that would have cost me $150, $175 or whatever.
Later, Mario.
Have a good one, Mario. But anyways, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. No promises on when I will get the survey up as a community post, but be looking for it. Please take a few moments. Please submit what you'd like to see. Dave and I need to convene and figure out which 4 we're going to put as recommendations. And then another reminder, we don't know Tuesday or Wednesday next week, but
Wednesday.
So we are going to do Wednesday. Okay. So at least if you have an opportunity, please be there for the first part of the show. Please.
Please and thank you. Those are the magic words. Please and thank you. Wipe your butt with turds.
But with that, Dave, go ahead and wrap us
Thank
up.
you all for coming along. Delay and all. I get to coach Naomi's team Thursday and next Tuesday because the head coach is going out of town with his wife to Cabo San Lucas. So I get to be coach. So, hooray. It's going to be interesting. I've coached softball, I've helped coach like Little League Baseball, I've coached pitch, and I've been the C squad coach for football way back when. No basketball, so this will be interesting. And again, it's not like I don't know anything about it, it's just interesting. Later, Ed. So thank y'all for coming along, chiming in. Thank you for Bob for popping on for a minute, chatting with us in the fashion that only Robert Lewis can chat with us. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, hopefully the next week goes semi-smooth. Be nice. Maybe a rumble strip, if that's the worst, that'd be nice. But again, next Wednesday, 7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time ish.
Hopefully not as heavy on the ish.
Not 40 minutes ish. So hopefully. No promises, but I really don't want to be 40 minutes past go time. So
Communication is key, Dave. Communication is key.
I was in the middle of the practice, and then I got to you when I did. I was late, but
I know you did. But that was not me giving you a jab. You know, communication is key, and when you had the opportunity, you let me know. I kept everybody in in the know as much as what I could. I didn't commit to anything. So people were aware. So
And it's essential that people are aware.
this is true. Hashtag facts.
So for Robert, for Vinny, that's Steve. I'm Dave. This has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards, absolutely wonderful hobby. The friendships that you forge along the way, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.